Hello, everyone. We are the Movie Meisters. I am Kenneth.
And I'm Matt.
So the first Mission Impossible movie, it's a spy movie. It's about this impossible mission force. They do missions that are impossible. And it's about an agent who gets caught up in a mole hunt. He's falsely accused of being a mole in the organization. So his organization's after him. And the whole movie is about him trying to uncover this plot about who the real mole is and ultimately clear his name. Matt, what did you think of Mission Impossible?
Oh man, this is a great movie, Kenneth.
Yeah.
It's just, I liked it when I was little. I think I might have seen it in theaters. Don't exactly remember. But wow, does it hold up. Oh my goodness. I was expecting it to be a lot dumber and cheesier, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a really good spy movie, and I emphasize the word spy movie because it's the only film in the franchise where there is no gunfight. And
Oh shit.
yeah, and it really plays up the spy elements. I mean, it's a very, very complex plot. Not all the pieces fit together 100% perfectly, but it's enough so that it gets you intrigued with the story. It has lots of good tension building. It has lots of character building in regards to how clever this Ethan Hunt character is and what is everyone's motivations behind doing what. It's really good.
So, why is this a good movie? For me, I think I agree that it's a good movie because it's a good spy movie, and the reason it's a good spy movie is because there's a lot of little spy stuff going
Yeah.
on. I think I point out too while watching this, there's a part where Ethan Hunt, the main character, is sneaking into a place and he doesn't want anybody to follow him, so he grabs a light out of the corridor, smashes it in his suit jacket, and kind of uses the suit jacket to quickly and expertly, evenly spread the glass along the floor because he wants to hear when somebody's coming.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, he doesn't explain what he's doing. He just kind of does it, and then later on, you hear the glass cracking, and that's just like, oh shit, somebody's outside. And just like, I feel like a spy, even though they have gadgets and that's fine, a spy should just be able to pull it out with nothing, right? They just have all these little tricks of the trade that they know, and you get a lot of that little things. This is a fantastic scene where the Russian member of the team is not being, faithful to the cause, and Ethan just uses all this kind of sleight of hand verbal trickery and just kind of makes a fool out of him, and it's just, it's great.
Yes, yes. Oh, I love that scene too. It really plays up the intelligence of the main character, and that kind of helps tie everything together, is that it's about him uncovering this mystery, but his ability to weave through all the mysterious elements makes it work. So this is the kind of guy where you think, yes, like if he's being framed, he's the one who's going to figure it out. And very good moments like that. And that's what really brings the movie together, is just this weaving of this plot and the details putting it all together.
Simple game. 4 players. Exfil opens the pocket. Cyberops lifts the wall.
So this is based off of a show from the 1960s. The movie itself is like kind of 3 episodes of the show put together with a plot stringing them all together. So it's about these small missions within the big mission. So you got the first one at the beginning at some kind of embassy function where they're spying on someone who wants to sell the knock list and then catch him trying to sell it to the buyer and recover the list. Second one is about them actually stealing the list in order to move the plot forward. And the last one is all the trickery on the train at the end of the movie. And each one does a great job of building up the tensions. So there's this room that's impossible to break into because it has everything. It has sound sensors, heat sensors, and then the floor, just a little bit of pressure applied to it, all the alarms go off and all this crap. And there's lasers on the top of the roof. And the movie does a great job of making sure each one seems like it could go off at any second. There's a part where Ethan almost falls to the ground because something happens, and then you have the rope that's being caught against the corner that's making noise, so that could set off the alarms. The temperature's going up, and then there's a little bead of sweat that's about to fall on the ground. It's great. Like, just building up the tension is just really, really good. And of course the operator can walk in at any time, so it's
I mean, surely that thing where he almost hits the floor was in the trailer or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think if you just like watch the trailer, or you just know this famous scene where he just kind of falls from the ceiling and just spreads his arms out because he almost hits the floor. It's like, well, that's just a cheesy action thing, but you know, you would be wrong because they build it up so well. It's just a lot of suspense. It's a seemingly simple thing. Drop down and grab the MacGuffin, but you know, you're right in there. Everything is so meaningful because you get all the build up. You get all. It's just it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Merci.
There's a lot of controversy about this movie regarding original fans of the TV show because, you know, Jim Phelps is the main character. Now all of a sudden he's the villain. It's kind of a strange balance because it's faithful to the show in that it's about these plots of intrigue. The main characters are trying to get something to happen, but at the same time they turn the kind of main character from the show into the main villain.
So is he the same name? Is it the same actual character, or is it just the same actor?
It's no, it's a different actor, but it's the same name, and he's the guy who he always gets the tape, and they were trying to get the original actor to reprise his role, but he refused when he found out that he was going to be turned into a bad guy.
Oh, that is kind of sad.
Yeah.
So you are something of a paradox.
Well, that depends.
On what?
Whether you like a paradox.
His main thing seems to be his charisma and his ability to lie to people, right? So he has everything else just kind of helps him out with that, right? So he can use the disguises, but by the way, I like the disguises. I like how they had the senator, you know, that he was impersonating, and then the actual senator is also just Tom Cruise in makeup.
yeah, that's
I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's got this ability to wear these disguises. That's just like helping him out, right? Really, he can kind of talk his way out of any situation. That's his superpower, right, for being a spy. And I think in the sequels, you kind of get away from that a little bit.
More than a little bit.
You know, he just becomes Action Man. Right?
Yes. Yeah, and that's a big part of what makes the first Mission Impossible so special is that he's a grounded character. He's very observant and very intelligent, but at the same time, it's done in a way that it's plausible. It's not like he's figuring things out that if we were in his place, if we were observant enough, we couldn't figure that out.
Yeah, and he does action-y stuff.
Yeah.
Particularly at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The whole train sequence. But it seems like everything that happens is out of like absolute desperation, you know?
Yeah.
You just kind of watch him basically kind of roll his eyes and go, okay, I guess I'm going to throw myself from the top of this train and hope that I just run into the bad guy. Right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing else to do.
The fact that it's so grounded up to that point, it makes you fear for his life at the end of that part. It's just like he's grasping at straws at that point of the movie, and the bad guy gets away. He takes the blame for everything. So the stakes are high in that regard. Do you have any criticisms of Mission Impossible?
The one thing that is distracting to me is that Tom Cruise's smile is so cheesy. He's good at being Ethan Hunt. I'm not saying Tom Cruise is bad at acting. I just think that his smile is distracting because they give him these little lines where he smiles really big, and it's supposed to be like, you know, we're going through this tense situation, but we're having a little breather, you know, a little moment of levity to lighten it up for the audience. But then when he smiles, it's like the most perfect smile that's ever smiled, and it's just like, whoa, what's
going on there?
No, it's distracting. And I think if I were to just tweak the movie just a little bit, I would maybe make it a little more ambiguous whether Ethan himself actually was the mole, you know, because you have all the elements there to set it up.
Sure.
That like the twist ending is that he actually was the mole all the time.
Yeah.
And after all, the mole would want to steal the second piece of the necklace because that's what Max said. Max said, "Screw this! I want both halves of the necklace." So he could still be the mole. But we get little scenes that prove that he's clearly not.
Yeah.
For the point of view of the movie. So
There's a part where he sees Jim Phelps after he supposedly died, and Jim Phelps is actually the bad guy. He's trying to mislead him, saying that, oh, this guy who's hunting you down for IMF, he's actually the traitor. But then it cuts to Ethan kind of thinking about it, and it shows like the scenario as if, oh, he knows who the real bad guy is already. I think that's maybe revealing to the audience a little early, that Jim Phelps is actually the bad guy. I think they could have done that a little better. Because, in the middle of that scene, you have Jim Phelps talking about how beautiful his wife is, but we've already seen the flashback to, okay, we already know he's the bad guy, so...
Okay, granted. But they do ease up on it a little bit because they make it ambiguous whether Tom Cruise's vision is real or not, because... he then imagines somebody doing something and then takes it back and imagines it another way.
Yeah.
And so it not necessarily what actually happens, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Red light! Green light!
Really well done. I mean, it's a solid spy movie, so...
Yeah.
And with a classic spy plot where the good guy everyone thinks the good guy is actually the bad guy. But well done.